and plenty of mailbag this week, I can assure you. Now, last week, boys, we did ask our audience at home to write in for a Jala list, and given the restriction of time, and we wanted to cover, because a lot of people write to us and say, where are they at with this, where are they at with that? We really did need to cover those election commitments. So, but that doesn't mean we can't go through some of the stuff now, and I know some of the answers to some of this stuff.
Oh, we've got to start the Jala poll for you too, don't we?
That's right, yeah. So let's get onto it. First one is from Brian Dixon, and he writes to us, thanks for showing my picture on the show. Must have shown a picture of him. You mentioned turning right from Patterson River on a kayak. Simply park near where you want to fish and launch 800 metres later, and you're at the destination. Now, locations such as that's his kayak. Locations such as Ricketts Point are easily accessible by kayak. With the popularity of kayak fishing, it would be great if your show can emphasise the importance of safety on the water. And this includes, and I want you to check out these features. Yeah, they're on the screen there. A 360-degree light, so you can see his light.
See in the background.
It's got all the stuff. A PFD, obviously, is wearing one of those. Tell someone you are going out and when you'll be back. Most important. Don't go out in 30-knot winds like the two morons at Point Wilson last week.
Correct.
Like, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Wasn't it? And actively check the wind forecast just before you head out. So some really good tips. Thank you very much to Brian. The next one, bit of a media release, I must say, but it was sent to me for a reason, and this was a seal that was lucky to survive a harpoon injury. And now, can I just warn the parents at home, guys, that if kids are watching, please ask them to leave the room. Give you 3 seconds, because there's some graphic photos that we're going to show you, but this is damn ridiculous. And I don't care if the seals are taking your snapper. That gives no one the right to do what someone did to this seal. And the Future Fish Foundation actually part fund, along with AGL, a marine rescue unit. So it got sent to me as part of the stuff that we fund. And this seal here was harpooned and just left for dead. Now, wait till you see the next photo where they had to cut the harpoon head. That head was embedded in that seal. He was found at Chinaman's Hat, and I may as well go through the media release. An Australian fur seal is lucky to be alive after being spotted with a harpoon lodged in its back at Chinaman's Hat in southern Port Phillip Bay on Saturday morning. The injured animal was reported to the AGL Marine Response Unit, who worked with the Dolphin Research Institute and Parks Victoria to dart the seal and transport it to Melbourne Zoo for treatment. So they had to actually knock it out and get it back to the zoo. They're very concerned about this attack, and we're asking anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity to please contact the department on 136 186 so we can investigate the incident. If anyone recognises that harpoon, or you've got a mate who makes something similar, I don't care, this is not good, report that person, because it's just not on. The weapon has been handed as evidence and will be analysed. The department nor the general public tolerate deliberate harm or cruelty towards wildlife. They were able to successfully remove the harpoon head from the animal and provide it with pain relief and antibiotics to help it recover overnight. They then released it on Sunday morning at Blairgowrie boat ramp, and they're hopeful that back in the water it will make a full recovery. So there you go. Pretty disturbing, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realise with that is this could come back and affect fishing. Yeah. Because this is how all these gnarly rules that stop us from fishing start, with silly acts like that.
Yep. Just takes one idiot, doesn't it?
Yep. Celiacs.
What?
Did you say celiac?
Maybe.
All right, dear David, watched your show last Tuesday, 24th of November, amid the excitement over phasing out netting in Port Phillip Bay, only to have the rabbit pulled out of the hat regarding the issue of 8 longline licences. What a dead, smelly animal it is too. Now, I'm just going to get this right. So this was from Roger Bacon, and Roger's saying that the introduction of new longline licences shouldn't be part of the banning of netting. Well, Roger, I'm not sure whether you're aware, but those 8 longliners, in fact, there's more of them in the bay right now, and it's being reduced to 8 longliners. But the interaction, boys, you just don't hear any noise from the interaction between longliners and recreational fishers, or very little compared to the netting. So that was part of the push by the recreational fishing fraternity, is that allow longlining to continue, but it is going to be reduced to 8 licence holders who will all get equal quota in 2022. So it's not something that's been introduced. He also asks, so are the number of charter operators being monitored? Well, no. Totally unregulated industry. Yep. Should the penalties be lifted for those recreational fishermen who sell their catch? Yes. Does a scallop boat or boats operate in Port Phillip Bay, and why? Don't get me started on the scallops. That guy, seriously, and this is going to be a topic in future. The boutique licence holder, he paid a small amount in comparison to be able to hand collect 12 tonne. He's now still fighting for 725 tonne of scallops. Now, Roger says, is there a scallop boat? There'll be a fleet of scallop boats.
Yeah.
And I know it's hand harvested, but what that'll do to the scallop population is unknown. What it'll do to the fish population, because it's a food source, is unknown. And quite frankly,
Too many unknowns.
Having one person with a monopoly over Port Phillip Bay is just not good enough. Anyway, thanks for your email, Roger. Roger that. And I'll keep flying through some of these easy ones. 2 comments I'd like to make to Jayla. Angling in Victoria has been neglected for the past 50 years and not keeping up with other states. Anglers pay up to $18 to launch cleaning tables around the bays, next to nil, and phone service for emergencies is very poor. 4 miles off Werribee, and it's nil some days off Edithvale and Aspendale. It's not good for safety. That one is from Rod Mulholland, president of the Keysborough Angling Club. So plenty more mail. We're just not going to get through it all. I'll save some of these for next week. If you'd like to write to me, all these blokes, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing for talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, 'cause this is the show. We'll show